Alright, Augie, today we have a special 12mm episode. That is interesting. 12mm is the nickname that the local bordello gave me. No, what is interesting is that the local bordello still lets you in after realizing you only tip in tickets that you got for public urination. I got lucky. Steve, the new bouncer, thought I was the guy who cleans the icky stains. Isn't icky stain the name that the local library calls you? After the computer incident. It's their own fault. They let me in thinking I can read. So you're pondering a time-old question. I like the 12mm focal length. Should I fall behind in child support payments, rent, or OnlyFans subscriptions? After all, Ivanka's pimp is always in a bad mood. Then you wonder, what if I pretend that f2.8 is just as good as f1.4? After all, f2.8 should be the same on every micro four thirds lens, isn't it? Well, for starters, that cheapness is the reason why ladies ignore you while you simp. But furthermore, that is a good question. Well, this is my question after all, and you're just taking credit for it, you stingy bastard. So enter as an alternative the Olympus Pro 7 to 14mm f2.8 zoom lens. And also enter another alternative, the Olympus Pro 12 to 40mm f2.8 zoom lens. Two lenses more versatile than a prime. And remember, you convinced yourself that f2.8 will do for your filming needs. The full review of the 12 to 40mm can be already seen on my channel. As a matter of fact, it was my first lens review. The full 12mm Leica review can also be seen on my channel. As a matter of fact, it was my previous review. And a full review of the 7 to 14mm will be coming in the near future. So hintity hint hint. However, this video will compare purely their 12mm focal. So we can see if prime or zoom lenses make any difference if you want to use only f2.8. To everyone who's new, this is Augie, our male model. In Germany, he's also known as Herr Scheiße. But that is irrelevant for this 12mm test. Would you ever test a 9mm? Only to shoot you in the face. We start out with a close-up that reminds me of grotesque AI art with 8 eyeballs. Leica is 15 elements with 12 groups, while the Olympus 12 to 40mm is 14 elements with 9 groups. And the Olympus 7 to 40mm has 14 elements and 11 groups. If you found that interesting, then that means you're a nerd. Now we go to center sharpness, which looks identical at f2.8. f1.4 is there to show you the 3D pop you're missing out on. However, an interesting truth is revealed when looking at the left side of the image. The Leica shows more of the object showing the letter E. This suggests that the Leica might be a bit wider than 12mm, considering that both Olympus lenses match. Then when you look on the right side, you can see that the framing of the Leica didn't shift compared to the two zoom lenses. Next we get to the reason why you would get a wide angle in the first place, to show off the wide angle. You can also see that f1.4 makes less of a difference when showing large environments. When we focus on the middle, away from Augie, our eyes get a soothing relief. But furthermore, the Leica's unofficial slightly wider field of view shows that the bottom and the top border show more space. More sand under the wooden leg, and more tin under the tinny roof thing. When we look at the left side, the Leica shows more of the bottom bucket. Granted, you can go for the 7 to 40mm and have more of a wider angle, but there's a slight fly in the ointment. Standard variable ND filters won't fit on it. Thought you could have it all, eh? Didn't you? Or you don't. Just like Augie doesn't have looks, brains, or actual soap. He thinks he's getting a good deal stealing urinal kicks. However, he's quite used to stomping at things. Yesterday I seen him kick a vending machine for half an hour hoping some crackers would fall out. He wasn't aware at all that it was a tampon dispenser. He's the stupidest man I've ever known. But what can you do? For the few photography people that haven't left yet, here's some pics shot in natural mode for comparison. Not much for me to add, so be at your own devices. And this is a comparison how close each lens can get. Quite grotesque. However, you might wonder, how would each lens look like in a stylish cinema fashion? I guess there's only so much style you can have, throwing a blazer over Augie while forgetting to cover his head with a paper bag. However, what is the conclusion? Sharpness, color and rendering is more or less very similar between them. They are premium lenses after all. If you like shooting 12mm but want to save some money, the Olympus Pro 12 to 40mm f2.8 is the way to go. At f2.8 you're not missing much. If you want a 12mm or wider, the Olympus Pro 7 to 40mm f2.8 will tickle your fancy, and among other things, while hooking in order to pay for the lens and its proprietary filters. However, we all know you like bokeh, and we know we like bokeh. If 3D pop could be injected straight into our veins, we would jam it right up the superior vena cava. Now buy that Leica 12mm. This concludes the test. Regardless which lens you pick, 12mm looks unique. The ladies like a man who looks unique. Emphasis on man. You, however, look like a garden gnome that accidentally shat his pants. Funny that you mentioned that. Shut up, Augie. No one is interested in your soiled underwear. That is between you and your social worker. Doesn't James Bond use a gun? Shut up, Augie.